was just watching an old Kyokushin in Japanese. I'll stick a link to it. It's all in Japanese. Kyokushin karate documentary from the 80s on YouTube, which I found fantastic. But one of the people watching it's only cuts to this Westerner watching it's big Westerner, and I suddenly, my God, it's no, I can pronounce his name, Jacques Jacques Sandulescu, who wrote the fantastic Donbas. It's a quick review of the book and just an overall thing of Sandulescu. Romanian, and in the World War II, he was basically kidnapped, snatched off the streets by the Soviets, and taken to work in this coal mine, giant coal mine called Donbas. It's the name of where the name of the book comes from. They just got a load of slave labour, basically the Soviets. These Romanian guys took him to this mine, and as anyone might suspect, conditions were atrocious. These poor people were dying left, right, and centre. And he somehow survives because he's just so big and strong, Sandulescu. He has multiple hardships anyway, but he's so big and strong. So he's kind of, they feed him a bit more than the others and all this sort of thing. And but this isn't any really giving any plot spoilers because it's on the back of the book. There's no great twists or turns to this book. It's just an epic story of survival. But there's a cave in at the coal mine where he's working in, and his legs get crushed, and they're going to amputate his legs. They're getting infected. But he knows if he can make it towards the end of the war, he knows if he can make it to the American lines, they've got this sort of the miracle drug, which of course was penicillin. And he does this epic, I don't know how many miles it is, the 2,000 miles I think, just crawl dragging himself along and jumping on trains, and yeah, it's just a brilliant story. Trying to get to the American lines where they know they'll save his legs. Donbas. It's on Kindle now. I bought it recently, or not so long ago, and Kindle had it before on paperback. But yeah, after the war, I think he eventually lived in New York. He was a heavyweight boxer, and then he took up Kyokushin karate, and he became very good friends with Mas Oyama, the mighty Mas Oyama. I've read another interview where he talks about Mas Oyama, and he reminds me quite a lot of John Blooming, who also was one of Mas Oyama's sort of Western students and friends, basically. In that he's completely no bullshit, and he says size. This is a recent video I did myself, but he says size just matters, low size and strength, and he was into weightlifting, and because he was so starving during the war, and he really enjoyed eating and stuff, and he was 6'2" anyway, so he filled out. And he said Mas Oyama, in the interview I put a link into, I found it on the web, he said we never talked about who would win if we both had a fight. We knew it would be Oyama, but it wouldn't be easy for him. God, being able to say that about facing off against Oyama, I mean, you'd have to be supremely tough. And he talks about all the scrapes they get, and I think they face off against the some punks, as always called in movies, aren't they, in New York, in the 70s. He's running this jazz club, and some guys try to muscle him, and Oyama and him face off against these guys. And it's like saying a film. They beat it 5 or 6 of these guys up. It's just 2 of them. But yeah, he became a Kyokushin. He took up Kyokushin karate, and that's why I saw him in the video. I don't know if he's one of the referees or whatever, but just he would have taken it to a duck to water, like a duck to water, because he was so big and strong. Just soon become, probably just had to learn how to kick. He could already box, and Robert is your mother's brother. Yeah, but so I'll stick the link into the interview I found on the web with Sandulescu, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. I don't know, Jacques Sandulescu, and also Donbas, for anyone wanting just an awesome read of survival. It's definitely recommend. Really, really great book. That's Donbas.